So this is what I'm doing on a Tuesday night. I was out pulling weeds and I found this little cicada. There were a whole bunch of the empty shells, the exoskeletons, on my tree. And I started looking around and I found one here that has not changed yet. So I brought it inside, and of course I had a log and I let it crawl on it, and now I'm waiting to see if it will come out of its shell. And you can kind of see the beginnings of the wings, that green color that's inside. You can see a little bit of contraction there. And I see a split. Do you see the split? Right there in the middle of the back. It started to split. So I'm just gonna let this stay on here. I'm gonna jiggle it for a second while I plug in my phone. There we go. I've had a lot of people sending me pictures of the exoskeletons on trees, asking me what it is. They didn't realize that it was a cicada. Where am I? Yeah, my husband said, "You have that in our living room?" Yes, I have it in our living room. And the thud that you hear are my two cavies playing. I'm gonna go take them back downstairs. This is a cicada, and it is eclosing. It's splitting its skin, and it'll get its wings. So this is the stage before it becomes an adult. But a few minutes ago, there was a split on the kind of like the hump on the back there, and that's how it's going to crawl out of that shell and become an adult cicada. I found it climbing on my tree out in the front yard, and there were probably about 10 other shells of ones that had already emerged into an adult. Yeah, it's been really loud around here too. We are due for the 17-year cicada in 2024 in this area. Well, the 17-year is kind of a really good guesstimate if weather can have an effect on them, so they could be give or take a year. There's also the annual cicadas. And then there are some that come out like 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 13 years. But the 17-year ones are the ones that everybody talks about. And different regions around the country, they will come out at different times. So it's kind of like a wave across the country. There's actually a cicada watch. I think parts of Ohio are getting them this year. Anna Marie, were you at the zoo when they came out? Gosh, can't remember how long ago that was. And the keepers tried to give some of them to some of the animals at the zoo. And I remember the orangutans were afraid of them. It's a lot of good protein there. And of course, everyone says insects taste like almonds. I'll just trust them on that one, though. I've done this before, but not without the camera like this. And I do remember it took a long time. Butterflies are a little bit faster at closing than these guys. Hi, Linda. Believe it or not, this is in my living room. Yeah, if you watch really carefully, sometimes you can actually see it's almost like a little contraction where it's pushing to get out of that shell. I think it's interesting. I'm glad to know that there's other people out there that find it fascinating too. So right now he's already pushed his legs out of what you see as the legs. So he just kind of affixed them there, hooked them on. But his legs are already inside getting ready to push out. I understand, Anna. It's like you keep seeing a little bit and a little bit. You gotta stay and watch the whole thing. Now, a lot of times when they get to this point, they'll kind of flip, but don't worry about it. Well, see, he got his whole head out. Hi, Sarah. Now you know what I do when I'm not at work. I just watch more bugs. Well, I could snuggle with the cavies, except they are wanting to play right now. And they were up here running around, bouncing everything around, so I had to take them back downstairs. They just get a little bit crazy. how did you know he was going to do what he's doing now? Because they stay underground until it is time to do this. So they are in the ground at the base of a tree. So the adults will lay their eggs in the ground at the base of a tree, and then they will spend their entire life pretty much underground, growing and growing. And then when it's time to become an adult, they will climb up out of the soil, and you'll see little poke holes. It's almost like somebody took a pencil and poked a hole in the ground around the base of the tree, and then they'll climb partway up the tree, and then they will do this. So when I saw one that hadn't come out yet, I knew it was going to do it really soon. Because they don't stay above ground in that form. They just climb up the tree and become an adult. Nature's pretty amazing, isn't it? Well, as an adult, it's going to have a short life, because you have to remember most of its life, depending on what species it is, it will live a number of years underground. That's the bulk of its life. As an adult, it will just have one job, and that's to mate and to lay eggs, and then they die. So they could be around for a couple of weeks or less. And when you think about things like the silk moths, the giant silk moths like the cecropias and luna moths, they spend a long time as a caterpillar. For some, they will even overwinter in a cocoon. And when they eclose, the luna moths and the cecropias, they are an adult without mouth parts or a digestive system. So luna moths will only live about 3 days after they become a moth. Cecropias can last up to 2 weeks, but they do not eat or drink nectar or anything like that as an adult. They have one job. You can kind of see how he's leaning back a little bit. Okay, look here. Once an insect gets its wings, it's an adult. Before that, they might have like little wing pads. And you can see that especially with the milkweed bugs. When they're little, they'll have like little black marks on their body, and those are the wing pads. And then each time they go to a next instar, it gets a little bit bigger, but it won't be a wing until they're in the adult stage. So you can see those little wings. Now there's a lot of fluid inside of the body, and it's going to start pumping some of that fluid into the wings, and they'll get longer. You're welcome, Ted. It's fun to share this with you guys. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Shelley. We're just watching a little cicada become a grown-up. Yeah, he's really leaned back, isn't he? But you can see pretty much the legs are out. They're always that beautiful green color, and then they will darken up as they harden. Yeah, I think they're just gorgeous at this stage. That green just glows. Well, I can see all 6 legs, can you? Yeah, I feel bad too. They will darken up. Yeah, the eyes will darken. By tomorrow, it'll kind of look like a big fly. You can just see those two back legs. Oh, look at it. Looks like he let go. You wonder how much longer it's going to be. Now, can you guys see those things that look like almost like little hairs that are coming out? Those are like breathing tubes. They're spiracles. A lot of insects have them. Will I put them back outside in the morning? Yes. They go through the shell. Caterpillars have those too, and if you've ever had a monarch that has been in a chrysalis, those breathing tubes are in that as well, and you can see them after the monarch has eclosed, and you just have the spent shell. Hi, Patty. Oh, the chrysalis of the monarch butterfly, they're kind of all over. You can kind of see them on the caterpillar. If you look really carefully, you can kind of see like little pinholes. And if you watch carefully, you can actually see them opening and closing. I think 2014 is going to be the next one when we're supposed to get it, but that can even vary regionally. So I remember Brookfield Zoo and Elmhurst, they got hit really hard with the cicadas because they have a lot of older trees, and places that had newer areas, newer trees, didn't have it as bad. But as this area is getting older trees, let me see if I can get this back in here. There we go, I bumped it, sorry. It's weird because I see your comments going up over the cicada. I can't even see the cicada. I have to turn around and look. Hi, Juliet. Is it a little bit too bright? Swipe the comments to the right to choose one. Oh, so I can make the comments go? Haha, now I see it. Thanks, Juliet. I've never done this before. Ted, if you're still on, you'll like this technical part of it. Doug got me something called a Smove, S-M-O-V-E, and you can put your phone in it, and it's got a little gimbal thing, so you can move it around, and it's really smooth. It'll be great for you and your videos that you do. Can't quite get it balanced here. Of course, I had a piece of wood here that I wrote stuff on, like, just for education. And I take it to, talk about trees and plants and the phloem and the xylem and all that other stuff. So I happen to have a piece of wood in my house, and so I brought the little cicada. I got him to move onto a stick, and then I brought the stick and put it next to the tree, the log here, and let him find a spot that he wanted. Oh, was the Smove a birthday present? No, I think it was partly for Doug to play with too. There's a cabinet meeting tonight? Didn't know it. I kind of wish you'd hurry up, partly because I've got stuff to do. Jennifer, I knew he was ready to shed because he had started to climb up a tree. Once they climb up a tree, it's time for them to become an adult. Yeah, I'm amazed he's hanging down like that too. I remember the last one that I watched did the same thing, so. Sorry, I'm trying to move around here. Let's see. The thing I have it sitting on is just a little bit too high. Let's see if I can put on something lower. Let me find him again. Nope, can't do it there. You're gonna see the rest of my house. Maybe if I move the light. If I don't have enough light, it looks grainy. If I got too much, it's washed out. What, most people don't spend a good hour watching a cicada, Melanie? It's a good angle for us. I don't know about him. Ooh, got a little bit of movement here. Who needs big blockbuster action movies, and we've got this. You'll have to come up with a new pose for that, Ted. Is there a cicada? Look at that. There we go. Shazam! Okay, now see how fat its little abdomen is right there? Now it's going to begin pumping some of that fluid into those wings, and the wings will get longer. You guys are all cheering, aren't you? Yay! It will change color. Yeah, by tomorrow it'll look more like a big fly. So each stage of an insect's life is called an instar, I-N-S-T-A-R. And different insects have different numbers of instars. It's like a monarch butterfly will have about 5. But a stick insect can have, gosh, there's some that even get into the 20s instars, so each time they grow, it's a new instar. Okay, Rudy, now I have to know who is Dirty Steve and why is he licking his chops? Well, he gets a little extra protein from eating them, I guess. Don't they buzz in his mouth? So if you've ever tried to pick up a cicada, they'll do that buzz. It's almost like, sounds like you're being electrocuted. It does take a lot of effort, Pam. Oh, so he can sniff out the ones that are just starting to close. Yeah, you can see that one side has gotten longer faster than the other side. You see it kind of like rocking back and forth. The butterflies will do that as well to help get that fluid into the wings. See, now the next time you see one of those little shells laying around or on a tree or on a fence, now you'll know all the effort that went into getting out of it. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you guys were watching it. I agree, Rudy. Well, from this angle, that one, the right wing looks like it's shorter, but if I turn, it's about the same, so it's good. Let me see if I can turn her a little bit. No, I can't tell right now. Now you can get a better look at her wings. His wings, her wings. I don't know, maybe we'll name it Steve. Maybe it'll be Steve's wings. Well, at least her wings are full length now. So now it's just going to start the hardening up process. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, well, I will take some still shots of it later as it dries so you can see the change in that, but she's fully out, he's fully out, whatever. And the wings are at full length now. So that's about it. Thank you, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.